What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Recording. I hope you're having a mild Monday. It's Monday, March 1st for Wisconsinites. That means just 2 more months of winter, and I hope that your day is going well. Maybe you're traveling, you're doing some deliveries today. You're a trucker, you're a custodian, you're a teacher, you're doing some pipe fitting, you're laying some tile, you're listening to me. I hope you're doing well. The Gina Carano situation obviously does seem to be coming to a kind of a wind down now, but there's some interesting new comments made by Bill Burr that I want to point out, because it would appear that not only does he acknowledge he has no issues at all with Gina Carano, but he acknowledges the level of fear that Hollywood actors have and the double standard. I mean, the one group of people that seems to have a mildly okay take about cancel culture is kind of the old guard of stand-up comedy. You know, Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. I mean, these guys have, and gals, all have big stages and big platforms, and they're a little more difficult to cancel. All of them, I feel, believe that, for example, when Louis got canceled for something that was really bizarre. You know, why? This was something that was consensual, as far as everyone can say. That man was at the height of his career. Now he has to perform under a pseudonym to get work. You know, Dave Chappelle is one of the few comedians out there who will still stand up and say some spicy stuff and make no apologies for it. But, you know, having $100 million in the bank will generally give you some brass ones. Bill Burr has a podcast with fellow comedian and Bert Kishner, I think his last name is. Bert's a funny guy. I know he's doing some like lame game show stuff now, but it probably pays really well. And they have a podcast, and they were talking about this, not just cancel culture, but also specifically Gina Carano and getting Bill's take on it. And you can tell that Bill is legitimately fearful. He says some very nice things about Gina. I have 2 segments that I want to show you, and shout out to Midnight's Edge for capturing this podcast. In this first section, you'll see Bill acknowledge that, man, now I have to worry about everything I have to say. And also some nice things about Gina. Check this out.
What you're saying, Joe, is she should have compared it to slavery, and it would have been better.
All I'm saying is, whether you agree, disagree, whatever, I just don't get this place that we're in where there's no room for discussion about anything. And even
because there's too many channels, Joe. Too
It's
many
just
channels,
wild.
and then you gotta like do sensational shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, I'm on that fucking
Everybody-
show. Now I gotta watch what the fuck I say.
yeah, I know.
I'm just
Yeah, I'm a fan of that show. Everybody.
What show is she on? What show is she on?
The Mandalorian.
the Star Wars,
Sure.
yeah.
Fuck.
They
Yeah.
canceled her action figure. That's how deep cancel culture is. They canceled her action figure. It's like, let the action figure come out. I mean, I don't understand.
Did she ever pony up to you, Bill, and be like, Bill, I got a few ideas I think that you'll like?
No, she was an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
Super nice fucking person, and you know, whatever. And somehow someone will take this video and they'll fucking make me say something else and, you know, try to get rid of my bald action figure.
And this is basically what everybody says about Gina Carano, that she's super nice. She just had the wrong opinion. I think for outside of the rabid cancel culture people, I think that the worst representation of what, you know, she did was probably a unwise comparison, a sloppy comparison. That's probably the most, I think, that if you're being reasonable and not letting your personal politics getting involved, that's the worst thing you could have said about it. And unfortunately, didn't matter. There's new rumors out there that obviously the camp Kathleen Kennedy was really behind all of this. These are unsubstantiated. Certainly, my sources have told me that the one that pulled the trigger in the end was really Kathleen Kennedy, which I suppose isn't surprising in any way, shape, or form. But the group then goes to talk a little bit more about cancel culture, and they talk about it in the way that I've often talked about it in that the people that endorse this type of thing, the people that get caught up in it, they don't want you fired. They want you dead. They want you gone. They want you erased from the planet. And I can tell very obviously who they're talking about in this next section. They're talking about Louis in this next section, where the guy can't even, like, these people get you fired and then they won't let you come back. They'll follow you everywhere you go, try to ruin your life, ruin anybody else's life who happens to still enjoy you, judge them, and they talk about how, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. And then I try to cut as much of it out as I could, to allow the context. And you should watch the whole podcast if you want even more of their take on it. I also thought it was really interesting. In the minutes that led up to this conversation, this part of the conversation, Bill's demeanor was happy, jovial, and, just normal Bill Burr. Once they started talking about this, he slumps over in his chair. This is something that Midnight's Edge pointed out too. And his demeanor is just entirely changing because he knows that, they're probably going to, go through, Bill says something wrong. They're going to cut him too because they don't care about, your acting or whether you're a fan favorite or not. They care about your personal politics. They care about a vocal minority of Twitter weirdos.
They just there's just people just waiting, just laying in the weeds.
It really is, man.
You think there is a group of people, like a type of person out there reading the trades and then going, Joe DeRosa signs a 6-figure deal. All right, let's deep dig him, find out what he did wrong, and that's how I spend my day.
Absolutely.
Let's show that he's human and he's made a mistake in his past, and let's take that dream away. I don't know how it works.
It's got to be. I mean, this shit comes out so fucking fast. It's crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How about you just be an individual and you continue to buy tickets to people that you want to go see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just sort of fucking, because that's one of the things that's weird to me is a few people that have they go back out on tour and then they're gonna sell out and people want to go see him, and then the people who don't want to see him don't even want to let the people that still want to see him or her see him. Then it just becomes I'm sitting there. It's a. My thing about that is how do you hold up you judging somebody that harshly about, because I'm not talking about like the hardcore shit. I'm just talking about, because now it's becoming like, hey, you made an ignorant comparison. There goes your dream, right?
Right.
I look at that, it's like, who the fuck stands up to that?
Now, it's my opinion that Bill does, he kind of avoids the situation, but he very clearly knows exactly what happened to Gina Carano with that last line. Again, I think that's even being not very charitable, but if you want to go a little further and say it was an ignorant comparison, I don't know. This Pedro Pascal did the exact same thing. He very clearly knows that she was wrongfully terminated, and in a tactful way makes himself very clearly understood that he obviously doesn't agree with it, but he's securing his bag, and I understand that, and won't judge people in Hollywood. Maybe I'll speak out against him, but I will say at least I can understand why maybe they don't say anything. Because, look, this is what you do. And it's not like you just get fired from this job. You get fired from the entire industry when you get canceled. And again, to show you just a hilarious double standard here, women in film groups silent on Disney bullying, firing Gina Carano. 5 organizations dedicated to empowering female artists ignore the star's mistreatment. Shocking, right? Like, this is what I'm always talking about. These people are so phony. Now you got these Hollywood losers coming out today, finally speaking out against Andrew Cuomo. The guy's a monster, but he was a convenient tool because he hated Trump. So they waited until Trump was gone. Now all of a sudden, all these claims are coming out and these comedians are ripping at him. If you think that that was just a coincidence, I've got a bridge to sell you, okay? And you see, you can see here, politically active starlets like Amy Schumer, Alyssa Milano, Sarah Silverman have yet to rally behind Carano's cause. No tweets, social media videos, or interviews where they decry a fellow actress getting canceled for comments less offensive than what many of her peers share, like Bette Midler. Or how about like Sarah Silverman dressing up as the bad guy from WW2. Perhaps the larger film community, particularly groups dedicated to empowering creative women, would have something to say on Carano's behalf. We reached out to 5 such groups for comment: Women in Hollywood, Women in Film and Media Colorado, New York Women in Film, Women Make Movies, Women in Film. None of the 5 groups responded to the press query. Said groups may have missed Carano's revealing Shapiro interview, but her shocking dismissal from Disney's dominated Hollywood headlines for the past 2 weeks. Their silence isn't surprising. And it's sickening that, people still think that Hollywood people actually care about women. They don't. They care about women with the quote unquote correct opinions. They don't care about those who with which may have slightly different political opinions. They toss you to the wolves and they're AFK when you need help. I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck, Bill Burr. We'll talk to you again real soon.